Hey there, my fellow jewelry enthusiasts. Welcome to my channel, Memory Lane by Marie, and I'm Marie. If this is your first time joining me, welcome to my channel. What I do here is bead box subscription unboxings. I do product reviews. I do bead hauls, and ultimately all of that results in what I hope to be some inspiring finished jewelry updates. So what's on our agenda for today is our favorite bead box subscription, the Bargain Bead Box for the month of January, where the theme was regal and the color was blue. It was very beautiful, you guys. The only thing that I have left from this bead box are these items right here. One toggle clasp and one charm. It was a charm, and as you can see, the hoop on it is broken. I'll probably use it though. It can be glued on something. And so, yeah, that's all that I have left, you guys. And so I'm excited to get into the finished jewelry update with you. I only have one concern. As beautiful as the beads were, I only have one complaint. And I'll tell you about that later in the video. So without further delay, let's get into it. So first up, guys, what I want to share with you is what I'm going to refer as my individual pieces, even though now that I look at them, they can be worn together. So first up, this was like the last thing I made. These were the last remnants of this bead box's beads that I had. So I made just this little single strand bracelet here using the toggle clasp that came in the Bargain Bead Box this month, using the links, using the last few of those bicones, as well as that lapis lazuli, a couple of beads that I got from my stash to add as dangles, and here we have a single strand bracelet. And I like the bracelet because it's kind of split in half, so it looks really pretty if you wear this on top where the dangles are. If you slide it slightly, you can wear the links on top and the dangles are on the side. And if you slide it again, you have the beautiful blue beads and some copper spacers that I added in there. So even if the bracelet spins around on your wrist, it will be beautiful from all angles. So that being said, that's the first individual item. Second, my favorite thing to work with, memory wire bracelet. So I took some of all of the all of the beads. Pretty much I used some of all of the beads from this subscription. Certainly I used the Xinjiang beads here in these turquoise. I used the bumpy spacer beads. I used the bicones. Here we have some turquoise chips from my stash because I ran out of beads. This was one of the last few things that I made. These are the last few things that I made. And so this is what I had left after making the other pieces. And so I think this turned out really pretty. It's very sparkly. You can wear it with this bracelet if you want to for an added layer. And again, I added these beads from my stash because I needed some, but I think they match really well. It's turquoise and it looks pretty together. So I love it. It is a 4-round memory wire bracelet made from our beautiful regal blue beads this month. And last, as an individual item, were these little pair of earrings. And so clearly you could wear them together with this or this. I'm just calling them individual because I really didn't have a plan for them being a set when I created them. It was pretty much just trying to use up the last remainder of the beads. So here we have a beautiful pair of earrings using those teardrop, what were they called? Matter of fact, these were not even in our bead box, you guys. Now that I think about it, these beads came from my stash, but I had these links left over. And so I pulled in these beads from my stash, these blue iris beads from my stash. And so, yeah, I wanted to use as many of the items in the bead box as possible. As I stated, I only have a few pieces left. And so, yeah, these are the 3 what I'm going to call individual standalone items. This cute memory wire bracelet, these earrings here using those last links here, and I've added my own crystals down at the bottom with the blue iris on it, and this bracelet here. So those are my 3 standalone items from the Bargain Bead Box this month. I was able to come up with these 2 bracelets, 7 pair of earrings, including this one, and 6 necklaces. So I think I did pretty well. So first up, guys, here is my first coordinating set. I've already showed you the individual standalone pieces, but this is the first coordinating set. And forgive me if it's too shaky. I was using my tripod, but it just was not working out for me, so I'd rather hold it. And so we're going to look at this necklace. Here I used this piece of howlite from my stash to create this chandelier, or to pair with this chandelier finding to create a pendant for this necklace. As you can see, I used the Xinjiang turquoise heishi beads, and I placed them at the bottom of this chandelier finding, added this piece of howlite, and added it all to my Figaro chain. Here I've created links out of the heishi beads, Xinjiang turquoise heishi beads, and the bumpy spacers. I created 2 here, 2 here, and then further up the chain there are 2 more. It's just a long chain, and so I have it clipped at the back so that you can at least get a full-length view of how it looks from the front. And then I added these cute little earrings here using those same oval or teardrop shaped chandelier findings. And for the earrings, if you can see here, I added chain. And so chain is hooked from the first link and the third link, and in between is that little short stack of heishi beads with the bumpy spacer in the middle. And then I added another one at the top just for the sake of continuity. And what we have is a beautifully coordinated set using our Figaro chain and copper, our heishi beads, our bumpy spacers, my addition of howlite, and again that teardrop shaped chandelier finding for what I believe to be a beautifully coordinated set. So next up, guys, is this beautiful necklace using that 45 by 30.
No, next step is not a necklace.
Alexa is interrupting my video. I'm going to leave that in because I think that's funny. So yeah, I'm definitely going to keep that in. But here we have a necklace set that I created with that 45 by 30 chandelier focal pendant that we received this month. If you recall, it was number 1. And we all got a equally beautiful and different piece of agate. I believe it goes really well with these 8mm agate beads that I've added here. I've taken those same beads and added them as links of chain here. I chose not to use the Figaro chain because these 2, I've used 2 large focal pendants here, and I wanted to get chain that would be strong enough to sustain the weight of both of them. And so yeah, I just added a couple of links that match these beads up here on the chain. I also used those same agate 8mm agate beads here on the earrings with the little flower links. Added more. You can see also here that I have used those coin beads, and they go really well with the rest of the necklace. I think it turned out beautifully. It is more of a statement piece because I have used both of the focal pendants here and here. And of course I finished it with a lobster clasp and a bead embellishment. Trust me on that. It is clipped to the back of this form, and I have tried to record this video twice and have fumbled trying to show you where I have added in lobster class and the bead embellishment. So we'll skip that this time around, and I hope that you will trust that I have done that. But I think this turned out really beautifully. It goes along with all of the rest of the beautiful pieces in this set, and I believe it all does look very regal. So there we have it, you guys. Another beautifully coordinated set from Bargain Bead Box for the month of January, where the theme was regal and the color is blue. So again, guys, I hope it's not too shaky for you. I am not using my tripod, and I wanted you to see these necklaces on the standing form. So here is my next creation from this blue regal curation this month from Bargain Bead Box. As you can see, I used our chandelier focal here. We were very lucky. We were able to get 3 focals this month, and this is one of them. So what I chose to do is I just added links of chain. I staggered the lengths of chain. I added them to the bottom of the chandelier finding. I added this cabochon from my stash, and I believe it goes really well with the rest of the blue beads in the set. These are those 8mm agate beads, and as you can see, I also used some of those beautiful coin beads in aqua green with the AB finish. Here again are those bumpy spacers. There are our flower links, and I did not use the Figaro chain here, but I used some other chain in my stash. Here we use those, what were they? The charm, the bumpy charms. And I chose to put them back to back, even though I didn't glue them because I kind of like the movement, but I also wanted to have that back to back look. Again, adding those agate beads here with those beautiful variations. You see that one has more white than blue. Again, those coin beads with those bead caps there. Also some ear wire for what I believe to be a beautifully coordinated set. And it's just gorgeous. I love the blue. I love how this looks with these like waterfall chain effects here. And so yeah, that is yet another design from January 2020 Bargain Bead Box. So I think we'll be okay off of the form for a while, guys. Next up is this cute necklace here. It is just a single strand necklace using those gorgeous porcelain beads that we received this month with the blue, dark blue, and a little white coming through. Here on the chain part, I used those 6mm agate round beads in midnight blue. On the previous necklace, those were larger. Those were the 8mm agate beads in royal blue, but these are being called midnight blue. And of course, I love agate. You can see all of the beautiful variations of agate in these beads, some with stripes, some with more white than blue. And I just added in some quartz beads to kind of break up the blue in the chain or in the linked portion. This is jewelry wire, stringing wire here. And up the back, I just used some royal blue seed beads that I had in my stash. I also used the toggle clasp that they gave us this month, the teardrop shaped toggle clasp that they gave us this month as a closure for this necklace. And here at the bottom, I just used a couple of links to create the space for the dangle using yet another one of those porcelain beads, those beautiful porcelain beads that we received. And so there's the necklace. Of course, there are these earrings that match. And I just went really simple. I added one of the porcelain beads to each ear wire. I added a couple of beads on top in the quartz that I had in my stash for what I think is a beautifully coordinated set for these gorgeous porcelain beads. I just think they're really pretty. I think they're really classy. I think this is a really more conservative set. It looks really pretty. But you can always use jewelry in any way that you want. You can take this and wear it with a beautiful business suit. You can take it and put it with some jeans. and it will work just as well if all the rest of your elements of your outfit are pulled together. So I think this turned out really well as well. Turned out really nicely as well. Next up, guys, we have this cute necklace here. If you recall, or if you've been following me, you will remember that, or you will possibly remember that I got some memory wire from BB Craft, and this was the necklace size memory wire, and I made some pearl necklaces on some of the finished jewelry updates following the product review for it. And I really like the style. I got a lot of positive feedback from that style of necklace, and so I wanted to create another one using some of the beads that we have here, and this is what I've done. So here again is the memory size, or the memory wire necklace size. I've created this, what I believe is a beautiful focal pendant here at the front, using those beautiful window beads. Remember, we had those, what were they called? The crystal oval matte window beads in blue iris. I think these beads are gorgeous, and I think these look really pretty with the copper. And so I took another one of those chandelier findings here, and it looks pretty on your neck. It wears like that because when you put it on your neck, it opens. Here it crosses over, but on your neck it opens, and there is a lobster clasp right here so that you can open it and put it on. And this just hangs, of course, closely to your neck because it's more like a choker style, and I think that turned out really pretty. Of course, there are earrings to match. Here I've added, these are my copper faceted rondelles here from my stash, and I added those same copper rondelles to these earrings and used the other two matte window beads. At the bottom as a dangle, I used those charms here, and I didn't make them double-sided here, but there's nothing wrong if they're not double-sided. There's nothing wrong with seeing the back of the earring. It's just that sometimes we use our judgment and we choose to do that, as I did on the previous piece of jewelry. But here I think this turned out really nicely. I think it's really cute. Again, original. I don't see this type of necklace often with memory wire at the necklace size, and I think this one turned out really well as well. One of my favorites from the set that we made with these earrings. I mean, with these beads. I cannot talk today, you guys. I must have had too much fun over the long holiday weekend. But yeah, I really like this. I really like these copper beads that I pulled in from my stash. They look really nice with the blues of the royal curation this month. And so that's that, you guys. I think that turned out really nicely. So last but not least, guys, I told you at the start of the video that I was only one concern or one complaint that I had about the beads, as beautiful as they were, and it was just getting to be a little too monochromatic for me. So I had to add a pop of color, and this time I chose to add these beautiful yellow beads, light yellow beads from my stash, and created this 3-strand necklace. These chandelier findings are, of course, from BB Craft, and this is some Figaro chain that I had, a little bit more heavy duty Figaro chain that I had in my stash, and I added these yellow beads from my stash and pulled together this necklace that I think is really cute and propels our thoughts forward to spring with this beautiful yellow color. These are just some glass beads in what were called lemon, I think lemon cream or something like that. Again, these were some beads that I had in my stash from when I first started beading, and they've just been there for a while. Again, a time when I was less conscientious about keeping up with what the names of them were. But I really like these beads. I like them with the blue. I think they scream spring. And I really like this. I just had to pull in some color, you guys. The blues were very beautiful. This is not to say anything negative about Bargain Bead Box. I love Bargain Bead Box, but I was just getting a little too bogged down with all of the blue, and I needed a pop of color. Similarly, to the way it happened when we had all of the browns. I think it was back in November when the theme was coffee shop. I had to bring in a pop of color, and I brought in my favorite color, red. And so here I felt the same way, just a little bit too monochromatic for me, and I needed something to break it up. So this is my last and final piece, this 3-strand necklace here, using some beads from everywhere. Of course, these are 6mm. These blue beads are 6mm agate beads from our curation this month in Midnight Blue. These are lemon cream beads, I believe, from my stash. These beads here on this strand, these large spacer beads, are from my latest product review with N beads. If you did not check that video out, please go and check it out. And then these square beads, these rectangle beads, I believe are from Bead Box Bargains, which is Bargain Bead Box's sister site. And I had them in my Bead Box Bargains haul storage space. So these rectangle beads came from Bead Box Bargains. These large spacer beads came from N beads. And of course, these were in my stash from years ago. And then of course, these gorgeous agate beads from our curation this month. I added it to a length of chain. I used a lobster clasp as a closure. I added that very last agate bead as a dangle on the back. And I think this is very pretty. And of course, there are earrings to match. And so I love this style of earrings. It's simple. All I used were head pins. These are not ball head pins, but you can use ball head pins. These are head pins where I have a couple of 3 dangles on each one, and I kind of pulled in the colors from the necklace so that it all coordinates. These are a couple of those agate beads. These are the lemon cream beads. These bead caps are from my stash, as well as those bicones that are sitting on top. These bicones might even be from these might be fire polished. Are they fire polished? They may be fire polished from Dollar Bead Box. So I just pulled in everybody to the party on this last piece. I needed to add some color, you guys, and so that's what I did. And so yeah, this is my final piece for the curation for the month. What do you guys think? Go ahead and let me know in the comments. How did you fare trying to use all of the beads from Bargain Bead Box this month? Again, I also deviated from the copper and I used silver. And of course, these were, as a reminder, these were the only 2 pieces that I had left. Of course, using some of my stash to bring together and bring to life my designs for this month. So again, if this is your first time joining me, won't you consider subscribing? Again, this is what we do. We love the Bargain Bead Box, and each month, Bargain Bead Box sends us a beautiful collection of beads that they've curated. They put together a wonderful theme, and oftentimes they present us with a challenge, but we meet it. And so I think all of these pieces turned out really pretty this month. All I needed was a little splash of color, which I've added here at the end, and it was really fun. And it's always satisfying when I have only a few things left. So there you have it, guys, for me from the month of January for our Bargain Bead Box. All I needed was a splash of color. I did that here at the end. And as always, you guys, thank you, and thank you again. You all have a great day.